Okay, so welcome everyone. We are a little bit, I think we're almost at the halfway mark. So I'm really excited for all of the feedback that we are getting, the national marketing directors. If you haven't given feedback to your national marketing directors, now halfway through would be a great time because, we always like to know if what we're doing benefits you guys. And how we can also improve because, this is the first time that each of the 5 of us are doing this. So last week, Angela and Mandy put the video in there, or the recorded call, basically on Class A prospects and how to build your list, and gave you guys a challenge. So how do you guys, and feel free to unmute, I'm going to maybe take 1 or 2 of you. How do you guys feel like you guys are doing with that challenge? Does anybody want to chat about that at all tonight? You all are all in black. No one, I can see no one tonight for some reason. Anybody have a story? No one?
I'll go.
Right. Awesome.
It's Renee.
Hi.
I absolutely love the idea of the challenge just because y'all paired us up with the exact right partner. An idea that we had, we took some of our top potentials and we started doing 3-way calls together with them about their Class A prospects. And it just gave them a completely different perspective that wasn't in our direct upline. And it's been working really, really well.
Awesome.
Yeah, so big fan.
I like that. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Or do you guys want to get started? Love, love, love this, Angela says to Renee. Okay, so let's just get started. So tonight is, I'm sorry, I have my glasses on, so I'm looking like a hot mess tonight, but that's okay. Tonight is about basically plugging in your new starts and working them towards Fast Start Qualify. And again, what I train on is kind of how I do it and what my organization does. We all have a little bit way. So, take what I'm doing. You don't have to use it as Bible, but just take what I'm doing, tweak things just like what Renee just did last week, is she kind of tweaked it and used what we had and kind of made it somewhat her own within following the same things. Because we all pretty much are doing the same things. We might just have a little bit of difference in what we do. So I have been in, for those of you who don't know me, I've been doing, I started Nerium almost a little over 3.5 years. And so I've had a lot of, I have something like 30 brand partners that I've brought into the business, and I've had a lot of experience of different outcomes of bringing those people into the business, of whether or not it was the right thing for them, the right thing for me. So first and foremost, when I bring in a new brand partner, and this is really important to me, and you can take it with a grain of salt, but I really no longer want to convince people to do the business that don't want to do the business. It's because I feel like, a lot of times, sometimes we do it because it benefits us. It helps us. It helps what we need, but it doesn't help them. And so I am very clear on what the job or the business or what it entails. And I'm also very clear, and I find out, and I do a lot of more listening than I did in the beginning. And I'm very clear on what they want and what they're looking for in the business, because in all reality, it's about them. It's never about us. We want to give them all the opportunities. We want to give them all the information, but we need to listen to what it is that they want. So many times I've convinced people to get in the business and, sign on the dotted line, just, give me your credit card. I can get you in the computer. And then when I go to do the information that we're going to go over tonight, they're like, oh, well, I didn't know I had to do all that. I'm not doing that. I'm, doing this for the next 2 weeks, so I can't get started in the next 2 weeks, or I can't get started for the next month. And so now I'm very clear, before I have somebody sign on the dotted line, what's your 2-party dates? So we all know that we need the 2-party dates. And I'm really working and going through my team and transitioning this thought process through it, in the sense of, and I'll use real live results sometimes here and there, but I had a brand partner that was very interested, or a prospect that was very interested, really kind of thought she knew she wanted to do the business, but really was hesitant, not sure. And I actually brought her to Spotlight with me. And we booked a party, those 2 parties, on the way home, before she even signed on the dotted line. Like I already knew that she was in. She already knew what she was going to be in for before she saw it, went in and put her credit card number in. And that gives them so much better of a start than it does if it's a trickle in and baby step toes. Now, some people are just going to be like that, and that's okay if that's what they're looking for. If they're just looking to get their product for free, then we can help them do that. But really what we want to work on is getting them Fast Start qualified, because when you get a brand partner Fast Start qualified, not only does that benefit them, it helps them get their money back ASAP within the first 30 or 60 days, but it also helps in ranking yourselves up and ranking the brand partner up. And, it helps everybody, but you do want to make sure that you are focusing them on them. So at time of enrollment, I am asking a couple things, and I'll make sure that I put these in the team. I haven't written out on paper, but I'll type it up and put it in there. Is let them know when they become part of the business that it does mean that you're going to need to set 2 launch dates in the next 2 weeks. If somebody right then and there is like, oh, I can't set a launch date until the end of March, then I'm going to say, you know what, let's go ahead and wait, and let's revisit this when you're ready. I'm still going to keep them in the loop. I'm still going to treat them, not as a brand partner, but I'm still going to treat them as if they're, already started the business. I'm going to do some things, but I am not going to put them into the computer and waste a 30-day window that they could be earning a lot of income to get their initial investment back. So I do that right away. I also let them know that they're going to have some sort of welcome call from somebody. Too many times I have not done this, and then I'll get a text like, who is this that just left me a message and called me, and they say that they're from XYZ. So I think it's sometimes when you don't prepare your new brand partner that they're going to get a call from an MMD or an SD or whoever it is. It's a little awkward, for them, because they're nervous, they're scared. I think it's really important that we never forget how the fear is the day that they sign up. Like, we all remember that fear, but I think the further away from that date we get, the less that we sometimes remember. And it's really fearful for some people. So make sure that they understand that. Also let them know that you're going to be introducing them to a team page, and that there's going to be a lot of information on there. And that's okay, that if they have a lot of questions. We talked about, and then make sure that you get a good feeling about what they want out of the business. One of the first questions that I ask is, what do you want from this? Like, what's your goal? Like, are you looking for just your product for free? And I don't necessarily ask this, but do you want to earn your money back in the next 30 days? Like, you just put a $500 bonus back. Like, we have a next level bonus. It's $500. For those of you that maybe don't know how that all adds up, we're going to talk more about it on the team Sunday night call. But if you really think about it, and so you guys are kind of getting a sneak peek of a little extra things that are coming on Sunday night. But, 4 years ago when I started, iPads were a big deal. And so it was iPad, get to your iPad. Nowadays, everybody has an iPad. I mean, like some families my family has 4 iPads. So to me, earning an iPad is not a big deal. Earning cash was a big deal to me. So I didn't even want the iPad. I took the cash. So realizing that if you bring in 3 people into the business within the first 60 days, and you hit that volume of having each of them have a couple customers, you're really hitting a $500 bonus within that first 60 days. And if you do that in 30 days, you're even hitting a higher bonus of like $650. So sometimes having them realize how easy it is, not saying it's not easy or that it's all easy, but easy to have that cash bonus sit in front of them. They're a little bit more anxious, like, well, yeah, I want to get my money back as soon as quickly. So that's what I want. So that happens at time of enrollment. Within the first 24 hours, I pull out, and I don't have a live one, I just print them off. But we have the Fast Start game plan in the back office. It's a great little pamphlet that we now have. It comes in their kit. I never wait for the kit. I just think it's ridiculous to wait for the kit. I think you waste your time. You don't, you lose some excitement. So I want them to really, be able to go through some of those things a little bit faster. So I always make sure that within that first 24 hours, I give them the game start plan, let them know that in the next day we're going to go through this. But I want them to go visit thestart.nerium.com. I really think that it's a great resource for you guys. It kind of lets them know some of the detail information about the company. It talks about how to, it talks about party dates and kind of what you should more expect within your first 30 days. And then it does talk about in there scheduling your Fast Start game plan with your sponsor. I always make sure, this is a big mistake I did in the beginning. Tell them to take their before pictures, especially if they haven't been using their product, for very long. Take those before pictures because, we all know we just had an announcement of the 90-day challenge was just announced. I mean, they can have that opportunity for that extra money as well. So online training, big deal. I also send them the success planner through the back office, and I only send a couple pages. I send 10 through 18. And so when you send 10 through 18, it goes along with, hey, in the next, this first 24 hours, 72 hours, I want you to start making a list. Think of everybody you can possibly think of. Think of who's in your neighborhood, who is in your church, who is in your child's school, who is in your child's activities, who is at work, who is in your college group, who is in your high school group. And then, it also includes in there those memory joggers. Who do you pay money to for services? Where do you spend your money at? And make sure that they're, making that list so that they have that list kind of ready to go to some degree when they get to your Fast Start game plan. And then let them know that, again, first 24 hours, that you're going to announce them on the team page and what that looks like. And that you want them to announce themselves on social media. And I always help them kind of with that verbiage because many of them are like, I don't know what to say. I'm so nervous, what words. So we want to make sure that we're giving them some of those words. The best thing that I can say is for them to be the most authentic that they could possibly be, and they will get the best response. And I think that so many times we all use social media when we see something great, all of a sudden it's like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And I think what ends up happening is we start to look a little less authentic and a little less real. And it just becomes, a blank where people scroll through. So again, that's first 24 hours. So what do you do at the third day? 72 hours you're in. You're sitting down with them with a game plan. One of the things that I really have started, and I think it's a great idea, is having the SD, the ED, whoever you have in your upline above you, sit down with that brand partner. If you are an SD and you have a brand partner on your team that has a new brand partner, sitting with them through that game plan is a wonderful idea. For one reason is because sometimes it could be their first brand partner and they don't really know a whole lot to do. We can certainly tell them, but the more experience you have, the better off. When I first started down, and we all kind of started at this very similar time, I mean, my game plans were like 3 hours. It was ridiculous on how long they went and what I went over. So your game plan should never be longer than like 30, maybe an hour, depending on how interactive and how much that they are ready to go and how much response they're giving. But it is super important to make sure that you're going through the right things and not bombarding them with the wrong things. So a couple things we go over during a Fast Start game plan. Obviously, we've already scheduled the real results party, so we should have those dates already on there. I want to make sure that we're defining a why. I do think it's a big deal that we have a why behind it that also helps them to launch their business on social media. A lot of people want to know why you're doing this, especially if you have a successful full-time job. I actually just had a neurologist start, and I can't tell you at her launch party how many people were like, why are you doing this? Like, you're a doctor. And, she had this why that nobody knew about. And I think it's really important that no matter who you are, no matter what position you're at, you do have a why. It doesn't have to be this gigantic life-changing why. It just needs to be some why that keeps you motivated and keeps you focused within your goals when life gets in the way. So comes to goals. When you set goals, having a written track of goals and how to accomplish goals is a really great thing. So, in the little Fast Start game plan, it talks about a 3-day goal, a 10-day goal, and a 30-day goal. One of the things that I feel is really important, I think sometimes people get mixed up, is sometimes people mix up goals with dreams and hopes. And so sometimes somebody will be, like, my goal is to be a national marketing director. Well, your goal, that's a hope and a dream to be a national marketing director. A goal is something that you have 100% control over in a daily basis. So a goal is an activity-based goal. So yes, maybe I want to be, I want to hit Fast Start Qualify in 30 days. Okay, that is a great start for a goal, but the background, the plan and the way we're going to go about it has got to be on it. So you want to make sure that you're identifying the goal. You want to make sure, why do they want that? Like, why do they want the particular goal that they're doing? You want to make sure, that there's a feeling behind the goal, like how is it, and it just is going to help them accomplish their goal more. The more feeling they have behind it, like how is it going to feel? Like when I hit national marketing director, like how is it going to feel to walk across that stage in front of everybody and get recognized? Like how is that going to make me feel? And then making sure that you have that plan, that routine in place, and that's your job to help them come up because they don't know. So it's your job or the sponsor's job to make sure that they have that up and running and in place to do that. So make sure you go that part. The last thing on that Fast Start game plan little card is just make sure they're plugged in, that they understand how to get into their back office, how to log in, make sure that they understand how to plug into the texting system, how to call corporate if they need to. So many times people are like, I don't know how to even get a hold of anybody. Make sure that they really do have that card. I mean, it's pretty simple right there in front of you. So it's not something you need to spend a whole lot of time going over, but you do need to make sure that they are just plugged in to the system. I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking when you personally maybe are at work as their sponsor and they have a question during the day and they need something and they have zero idea how to get into their back office to do anything. So make sure that that's something. So when you're planning the dates or the launch parties, what does a launch party look like? Really let them know that. That is going to be their biggest, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Like not everybody. Some people are like, I love to have parties, but make sure that, they do it the Nerium way. Make sure the event is simple. I know when I had my launch party, I had like 20 appetizers, a gazillion it was ridiculous because that's the way I was used to, like, just hosting normal things at my house. But what I made that look like is when somebody was thinking about the business and I had 15 people at my launch party, they were like, holy cow, I cannot pull off this. So make sure that they know that it's super simple. Their job is to invite the people, get them in the room, and the sponsor's job will do the rest. So don't stress, just get them in the room. Really explain to them how to invite people. And I like to do in the initial, game plan, I like to help them make their first contacts, like, anywhere between 5 and 10, depending on allowance of time, and make sure that they have some confidence, because if you tell them everything what to do and they've got all the information and then they go home and they're sitting by themselves and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. So, show them how to do it so that when they are sitting in a room by themselves and, they're making that phone call, that they have a little bit of background behind them, that they have a little confidence that I've already done this 5 to 10 times, so I can totally do this. And I've already screwed up 5 or 10 times, so I can totally do this. When you're inviting, and I don't want to go too much detail into the launch party because I think we have a whole separate training on parties and whatnot, but just make sure that you're available to them. I always make sure that my person understands very quickly and very often, like, I'm expecting text from you every day, multiple times a day. I'm expecting phone calls from you, because so many times they're like, I don't want to bug you. I don't want to bother you. That is like what you want them to do. And then make sure that, that they have a lot of people, coming to their party, inviting all at 4 times the amount to their launch party, explaining them how to do that. Kind of explaining the follow-up, and I'm going through these pretty quickly and I'll pop them in there. But, make sure that their 2 launch parties are amazing. because the best way that you can launch somebody's business is to have a great invite that gets people in the room for you to help them do the work. That's the best way to launch the products. Obviously, when they make their list of 100 or more, you're going to help them sort it out. Like, this person is going to come to my launch. This person, I'm going to have a sit down because I already, I'm further along and I think this person would be awesome with the business and I want to sit down and have. Make sure you're sorting. This person, I know for sure I want to send the product to right away. I always say Zooms are not parties. And I'm sorry to say that. If anybody else disagrees with me, that's my personal opinion. If somebody starts the business and says, oh, I just want to do a Facebook party, I'm never going to say that's okay. I just am not, because that is not the way the business is built in the beginning. It's not the way, like, this is a relationship building business, and getting yourself in front of people is the best way to get yourself on a great start. Now, if you have 2 launch parties and you've already had those 2 launch parties and they have a gazillion friends from college and they're all over the United States, awesome. Let's do a Facebook party. But I will never say a Facebook party is in place of a real launch party in those first 2 weeks, because it just sets your brand partner up for less success in the long run. The other thing I think I always try and make very clear is it's not your choice when you're talking to a person and exposing them, whether they are going to be interested in the business or they're interested in the product. It's not your choice. And I think that that's some of the biggest mistakes that we originally make. I know I made it 100% when I started the business, and I'll just give you a tiny little background on me. I went to one person about the business. She's on here somewhere. I saw her. It was Misty Ostrom. And I said, I think I found a way we can make some serious cash. Like, we got to do this. And then the rest of them, I just exposed the product to. I was like, this is an awesome product. I made my money back in 2 weeks, all on customers. And I continued to do that until it was about 6 months in. So I did not hit senior brand partner until I was, senior brand partner director the same day, until I was 6 months into the business. So no, I still hit national marketing director at 18 months, but no, it took me 6 months to figure that out, in the instance, because it's not that anybody did anything wrong. It's just the fact that I chose to choose, you're going to be my customer and you're going to be exposed to the business. I chose that for them. And it wasn't until 6 months into the business that I had a customer come to me, who is Melissa Gordon, and I know you all probably know that name, that says, wait, there's a business that you can do with this? I never said a word to her. She's my customer, never said a word. She came to me. And so it was a big eye-opener learning lesson that it's not my choice on what you're going to expose to them. So it's my job to give them all the information about Nerium in some way, shape, or form, and let them know what the opportunity is on both the business side and the product side, and let them make the choice. It's their choice. So that's kind of what I typically do. I stay in contact with them on a daily basis. I make sure that, they understand the team page. Now we've all merged into this one team page. All of the national marketing directors are really working hard to get all of the files in the back office, in that back group, more up to date, more ready, accessible to you guys, so that you guys aren't hunting for things in that group. So let your new brand partners know that. There's a file section, there's a photo section. All of that is going to be kind of at your fingertips here in the next several weeks. I know we're updating it on a daily basis. So it makes it a little bit more easier for you. Make sure you're plugging your new starts in that first 30 days right into regionals, right into Nerium universities, right into the market parties that are in the local areas, whether they have a guest or not. If you can get your new start into a regionals from the very beginning, it is easier to get your new start to continue to grow with the business on a quicker pace. And in all reality, our goal is to help them be successful in the business as best possible that we can. And ourselves are second. So that's kind of, unless you guys have, I'm going to open it up for questions, and then I'll give you guys your challenge. And Beth and Angela, I think you guys are on here. If you want to add anything that I left out, please feel free to pop in and say something.
Hey, Melissa, it's Billy Swadek. I just wanted to thank you for doing this call.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're on.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Angela, Beth, you want to chime in? Anything that I missed?
Actually, what I was curious about is everybody has a workout partner and nobody's missing one. If you're missing one, just let us know.
Yeah, definitely. I know as time goes on, sometimes people maybe take a step back and think this is too much, or I hate to use the word drop out, but just say this is really too much for me, and they may have had a workout partner. So please let us know if you haven't been able to get in contact with your workout partner, or I guess we're calling them accountability partners, because that's a big deal. We want to make sure that everybody is having, and especially with what Renee just said, I loved that idea how both her and her accountability partner got on and did some growing Class A prospects with some of their teammates together. I thought that was really great.
Melissa, did you announce, sorry, I'm like running on zero fumes here.
You're fine.
Did you announce Delta and I forget the other person? They both had people kind of drop off.
I did. I connected them on Facebook.
Perfect.
Yep,
Okay.
I did. So
No,
I put us all three in a little private message and introduced them to each other.
Okay, I just want to make sure, but Melissa, I think you did an amazing job. I think all of us, the 5 of us that came together to do this group, we are here for you guys. We want to see all of you be like Pop Lexus, one after another, and maintain Lexus. For those of you that are senior directors on here, because there are a few of you, we really want to help you get to the next level. So reach out to us, and if there's anything that you're like, oh my gosh, there's like one more topic or one more thing we really want to hit on that we're not covering, like reach out to us. We are 100% in this for you guys. We obviously see something in you. We believe in you, and we know you're going to hit that rank and go straight to the top and hopefully pass us. So I think tonight was totally awesome. So thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome. Okay, so you guys ready for your challenge? All right. So basically, if for those of you, and if you don't know how to do this, reach out to your MMD so that they can tell you how to do this. But we're going to take inventory of who's in your 30, 60-day window. So there is a report in your back office. You can go to the report center, and you can go to the reports on the side, and there's a way that you can see who is in your Fast Start qualifying window. So take inventory on your team currently right now. Some of you may have a lot, some of you may not have any at the moment, but those of you that have that, where you have some in there, reach out to the team members individually and with their sponsor and coach them for the importance on how to Fast Start qualify. Go to your teams. The best thing that can come out of this is obviously we want you guys to get the Lexus. The second best thing is that you guys come out with more knowledge on how to be a leader to your team. I think a lot of us grew so quickly. Some of us grew really quickly. And we're like, kind of like when I started, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. None of us knew what we were doing. And so, and it's so quickly, and you have all these people and you're not sure how to manage them and you're not sure. So you take what you're learning from this, because not everybody has the privilege to be on this, and take it to your teams. Teach them what we are teaching you, so that in turn, when you guys are those senior directors and executive directors and RMDs, that you guys have a better basis on those newer people and the directors and the SDs that are coming in you. That's the best, really long-term solution that can come out of it. So reach out to the individuals that are on in your Fast Start qualifying window. Reach out to them and their sponsors. Don't leave their sponsors out. And make sure that within the next week, you guys are reaching out to them and say, hey, did you know that if you just get one more brand partner that you could Fast Start qualify and earn a $150 bonus? Some people don't know. That's the amazing thing. Some people don't realize how close they are to something. So that's your challenge this week. And then I'll open for questions. I don't even know what time it is. If I went too far. Okay, it's 8:31. So if you have a quick question, great. If not, I know many of you have some Zooms to get on at 8:30. You can unmute yourself if you want. All right.
We have to get on the next call.
Yep. All right. So you guys have a great evening. And again, like Angela said, reach out to us if you need us, because that's what we're here for. And we will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.